It's the one and only Black Friday game. The only game. The defending champs, the Philadelphia Eagles, hosted the hot, dare I say it, Chicago Bears. Who could imagine 2025? You're saying hot and Chicago Bears at the same damn time. Well, that is the case. And guess what? The Bears' hot streak continued as they ran Philly out of their own stadium. They ran their fans out of their home stadium. Can't remember last time I seen that, to be honest. It was it was another one of those weirdish games, but I feel like that's been the case for Philly for a lot of this season. Um, and it's just something that, as some people like to call it, supernatural funk, which they went through a couple of years ago, and they didn't really recover it, recover from then, and then made up for it winning the Super Bowl last year. So I swear, with Philly, you just have to take it week by week. Like again, the offense is just it's beyond questionable now. It is absolutely beyond questionable. And it was one of those ones where the defense they'd done enough. Sorry, I was looking for my water. Um, there we go. Sorry. The defense, yeah, I'd say throughout most of the season, they've showed up where they've needed to. They've kept them in games, won them tight games, low scoring games. And it was just one of those ones where they couldn't contain the Bears' running game. And like I said at the beginning, the Bears ran them out their own ground. Um, ground. That's the UK in me, as we refer to our stadiums as grounds. But Manangai and Swift, who is a Philly native and was returning to his old team, they both rushed for over 100 yards, which is pretty unreal, to be honest. Like having two running backs just go for 100 in the same game. That is, again, credit to the Bears play calling, head coach Ben Johnson, their OC as well, and then their fantastic offensive line, which, like, in comparison to last year when Caleb got sacked a lot, they didn't really have a run game like that as well. It's a complete turnaround, and credit to the organization for getting those players. One of those players being the Chiefs, Tooney, but we don't like to speak about that. But yeah, like I was saying, Manangai and Swift between them had 255 yards, carried the ball between them 40 carries as well. Mananga averaged about 6 yards a carry, Swift 7 yards a carry. So again, like Caleb didn't have the best of games, got sacked a couple times, one interception as well, and completion percentage was under 50%. His completion percentage hasn't been good this season, but the contrast last season, his completion percentage was good, but the team weren't winning. The numbers weren't there. So now, like collectively, and again, I've mentioned it last week, I believe, and maybe the week before. But Caleb in the fourth quarter in the clutch, it's like he's forgot about how the rest of the game has gone, and he's just locked in again. And like, as long as the team are keeping them in the game, their defense is playing well. They're very good, like opportunistic in terms of takeaways. Um, then we know what he's shown this fourth quarter, and it's not something that could be like not taken serious. So yeah, the Bears they've ran themselves into the one seed currently in the NFC, obviously with the Rams losing, which I'll come on to soon. And then yeah, that's a massive victory. Even watching like their post game locker room celebration when Ben Johnson took off his sub and everything, that is a unit. Like the camaraderie, and again, it starts off from the appointment of Ben Johnson, the culture he seems to be instilling in Chicago is serious. Um, and it's those ones, yeah. Like the Bears, they've still got quite a tough schedule left. But if they were to get home field advantage in the playoffs, because they're making the playoffs, right? Surely they're not making the playoffs. Let's just clarify. But if they're to get home field advantage in the playoffs, going to Chicago in the cold in January, oh my gosh, it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be nice at all. So again, like let's pick up on some defensive players. I think Kevin Byard, he's a vet and he had a great game. Was it Jalen Johnson that returned as well? Um, Someone else in Johnson, if I'm not mistaken. But like you can see, like as the Bears are getting healthy, they're getting even more dangerous. Um, because was it last week or a couple of weeks ago? I can't remember the game where they were missing quite a lot of linebackers, and they still pulled it out. Steelers game, so it was last week. But yeah, again, credit to Chicago Bears. It seems like they've got a real solid team. They've got playmakers on offense. They've got playmakers on defense, and they've got good, a good quarterback. That's as far as I'm going to push it, with the potential to be great because of Caleb Williams' natural ability. Obviously, he's still in his second year, but if he's getting the winning thing on track right now, and then the fundamentals come into play, Chicago might have found their outright franchise quarterback. Great win by the Bears. Philly, we'll take you on a week by week basis. We're not gonna, you know, go there too much because there's been a lot of Philly talk. Just a quick one in Miami. The Dolphins, they beat the Saints in quite a close game, to be honest. Again, Tua wasn't at his best, but the Dolphins, they've just been pulling off these wins. Obviously, it's not impossible for them to make the playoffs, but it's not really happening. 5-7, yeah, it's not really happening. But credit, like after all the turmoil that they went through throughout like the first half of the season, Tyreek's injury, um, head coach being on the hot seat, like he's galvanized the troops. And do you know what? Like they've got a bit more team camaraderie about them. I used camaraderie beforehand, might be my word of the day, but like it's just something. And I said to the boys, I was like, me personally, I don't think Mike McDonald is it Mike McDonald? My mind's gone. It's the ring light. The Miami head coach. I did not think then he should have been fired, and that's still my stance. And I'm glad that they've stuck it out. I hope they do in the off season as well, that they don't fire him. Obviously, they fired their GM, who had been in the organization for 25 plus years and stuff. But like it's more of like the fits, the players that they're going to look to bring in the off season. As bad as it sounds, they're somewhat capped with Tua playing quarterback. So again, that's a decision that they've got to make long term. And then the Saints, yeah, it's just one of those years where they're, as many people predicted, one of the worst teams in the NFL. If not with the worst record. That's to the Tennessee Titans. Quarterback Tyler Shock. Probably one of his better games, So and the game got very close at the end. It seems with Miami they lean on Achan early in the game. He gets him a touchdown, and then that seems to be the trend of when they win. Like Achan big play. Like if you know me, you know I love the Bon Achan quality player. So yeah, good win for Miami. Again, I feel like they're out of the playoff picture, but with 5 games remaining on the schedule at 5-7, who knows? The NFL has been a bit wild this season.